there's a secret code in her mind, and you're about to crack it. Have you ever felt like something strange is going on when you're texting a girl? One day she's sending you hearts. The next, she's acting cold, distant, like she forgot how amazing your connection felt. You're left wondering, what did I do wrong? You replay conversations in your head. You read every message twice, maybe even 3 times. You feel confused, frustrated, even a little angry. But here's the truth most men never hear. She's not confused. She's not unsure. She knows exactly what she's doing. Women don't play games to be cruel. They do it because of how their brain is wired. They're built to chase what feels rare, what feels strong, and what feels just out of reach. And when a man gives too much, chases too hard, and makes her the center of his world, something switches off inside her. The excitement fades. The pull is gone. You see, most men were taught wrong. They were told, if you like her, show her, prove it, be sweet, be available, give her your all. But guess what? That advice? It's the reason so many men end up hurt, ghosted, or left wondering why she suddenly lost feelings. Let me be very clear. Attraction is not logical. It's emotional. It's psychological. And it's based on energy. Women don't fall for the guy who gives her everything. They fall for the guy she can feel, the one who stands firm, calm, and centered in who he is, even when she acts unpredictable. The guy who doesn't chase, but moves with purpose. The man who's not afraid to take space, focus on his mission, and let her wonder where his attention is. This kind of man isn't cold. He isn't rude. He's just full. Full of life. Full of meaning. Full of direction. And that's what women want. That's what makes her obsessed. That's what makes her think about you late at night when the room is dark and quiet and her phone is in her hand. She starts to miss you. She starts to need you. She starts to chase you. So in this video, we're not just going to talk about how to attract women. We're going deep into the 3 hidden psychological patterns that make women chase alpha energy. These aren't tricks. They're not games. They're based on Stoic wisdom, inner power, and how to unlock the part of her brain that says, I need this man. I can't forget him. Let's get started, because what you're about to learn will change the way you think about women forever. Are you ready? Let's go. Ooh. Why her brain craves the man who feels just out of reach. Here's a strange truth that almost no one talks about. A woman's desire grows in the space where a man disappears. Wait, what? Yes, you heard that right. When you stop showing up every second. When you stop always being available. When you stop chasing her like a lost puppy. Something mysterious happens inside her. Her thoughts begin to spiral. She wonders, where is he? Why hasn't he texted? Is he thinking about me? And most powerful of all, what is he doing without me? That question, right there, is the spark that starts the fire of obsession. Because here's what no one teaches young men. Your presence can be addictive, but only if it's rare. Think about it like this. Imagine your favorite food, something you love. Maybe it's pizza, maybe it's ice cream. Now imagine you eat that food every single day, 3 times a day, no breaks. At first it feels amazing, but after a while, you get tired of it. It becomes normal, boring. The magic fades. That's how the female mind works when a man is too present, too giving, too available. But now imagine something else. What if that same favorite food was only available once a week or once a month? Suddenly, it becomes special. You crave it. You look forward to it. You dream about it when it's gone. That's what scarcity does to the brain. It creates hunger. And when it comes to attraction, that hunger makes her chase. So here's the secret. You don't need to say the perfect thing. You don't need to impress her with gifts or fancy words. You just need to stop being so easy to reach. You need to live your life so fully, so deeply, with so much purpose and passion that she realizes something huge. You're not hers. She has to earn you. And that one shift changes everything. She'll try harder. She'll text more. She'll ask questions. She'll give more. Not because you manipulated her, not because you played a game, but because you lived like a man who values himself. And that energy, that's alpha. That's powerful. That's unforgettable. And once she feels it, she'll never look at another man the same way again. The secret switch in her mind that only strong men can flip. Okay, get ready for this, because what I'm about to tell you is going to flip everything you thought you knew about women. See, deep inside her mind, there's a switch. It's not a switch you can touch with your hands. It's psychological, emotional, hidden, and most men never, ever find it. Why? Because they're too focused on saying the right things, sending long texts, giving constant attention, always trying to please her. But here's the truth. That switch only flips when you stop needing her. Let that sink in for a second. When a man needs her, when he's begging for attention, chasing validation, always trying to prove that he's worthy, she doesn't feel pulled in. She feels turned off. But when a man is calm, centered, grounded in his own path, when he's living a life he loves, with or without her, something electric happens. That switch in her brain flicks on. She starts to feel this weird, powerful attraction, like, why am I thinking about him so much? What is it about him that I can't let go of? Here's the crazy part. You don't even have to try to make her feel this way. All you have to do is stop giving her too much of you. You stop over-explaining. You stop rushing to reply. You stop proving. And instead, you move like a man who has a full life. You speak less. You show more. You become still, powerful, like a mountain. And suddenly, her emotions shift. She feels the silence. She feels your absence. She feels that you are different from all the others. And that is what flips the switch. Not gifts, not flowers, not promises, just your emotional strength. Because that's the rarest thing of all in today's world. Men who don't react, men who don't chase, men who lead their own lives. These men haunt her thoughts. These men get remembered. These men are the ones she dreams about at night, wondering, how do I get him to want me again? So don't chase, don't beg, don't break your frame to get attention. Just flip the switch by being a man who doesn't need to. Why her mind craves mystery and how silence becomes seduction. Let me ask you something strange. Have you ever noticed how the less you say, the more she pays attention? It's wild, right? You'd think being super nice, explaining everything, showing all your feelings would make her love you more. But in the real world, the more mystery you hold, the more she leans in. Now listen close. This isn't about playing games. This is about energy. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't give all his power away in the first 5 minutes. You see, women are drawn to what they don't fully understand. Not in a bad way, but in a deep psychological way. When a man tells her everything he feels, every single second, when he's too available, too emotional, too eager, it feels predictable, boring, safe in the wrong way. But when a man is quiet, when he speaks with purpose, when he walks away instead of arguing, her mind starts spinning. What is he thinking? Why isn't he texting me back right away? Does he even miss me? She starts to crave answers. She wants to feel something, and your silence becomes your power. It's not empty silence. It's intentional. You're not ignoring her to be mean. You're simply not pouring out all your emotions like a boy who needs a hug. You're calm, you're composed, you're on your path. And that mystery, that space, that's what draws her in. She starts to chase that feeling she used to get when you were there all the time. She misses your attention. She remembers your calm. She wants your energy back in her life. And suddenly, she's the one checking her phone. She's the one feeling unsure. She's the one who starts chasing. So remember this. You don't have to yell. You don't have to explain. Just be silent, powerful, and let her mind fill in the blanks. Because sometimes saying nothing says everything. The secret power of not reacting. Why calm men are dangerous. Okay, here's the truth no one tells you. The man who can stay calm when everything's falling apart is the most dangerous man in the room. Why? Because he can't be controlled. Not by anger, not by fear, and definitely not by her games. Let's say she says something hurtful. Maybe she rolls her eyes. Maybe she brings up your past. Maybe she suddenly pulls away and starts acting distant. Most guys, they panic. They chase. They blow up her phone. They argue. They cry. They lose their cool. And guess what? The moment you react like that, you lose your value in her eyes. You've shown her you're not centered. You're not in control. You're ruled by emotions. But when you respond with calm, when you stay cool, quiet, grounded, her whole energy changes. She starts wondering why you're not upset. She questions her own behavior. She feels the emotional gap, and she starts to chase your calm. That's the secret, my friend. Stoic calm is a magnet. It pulls her in, while your peace pushes drama away. Because here's what you have to understand. Women are emotional creatures. That's not a bad thing. It's just how they are. They feel highs and lows, like waves. And if a man rides those waves with her, up and down all over the place, she loses respect. But if a man is like the rock under the water, solid, strong, steady, she feels safe around him. She craves his strength. She respects his energy, and she slowly starts to realize, this man doesn't need me, but I want him. So next time something happens, don't react, don't chase, don't explain. Just breathe, just be, because your silence, your stillness, your calm, that's the alpha power that haunts her heart. When you have purpose, she'll feel lucky just to be around you. Here's a mind-blowing truth most men miss. You don't chase women. You chase your mission. and women chase the man on a mission. Let that sink in. The moment you start building something bigger than her, a dream, a vision, a purpose, she starts to see you differently. She starts to look at you like, whoa, this man is going somewhere. And she wants a front row seat to that journey. Think about it. What's more powerful? A guy who texts her all day with, "What are you doing?" Or the guy who's too focused, building his business, training his body, reading, growing, creating. The second guy becomes magnetic, not because he's ignoring her, not because he's playing hard to get, but because he's busy living fully. That kind of man doesn't wait around. He doesn't need her attention to feel alive. He creates his own fire. And guess what? She wants to stand next to that fire, just to feel the heat. This is how psychological imprints are made. When a woman sees that you're not sitting around hoping for her love, but instead you're chasing something powerful and real, she gets curious. She gets pulled in. And when she's not around you, she can't stop thinking about you. Where is he? What's he doing? Who's with him? Why does he feel so different than all the other guys? It's because you've stepped into your higher self. You've become rare. You've become a man who doesn't need, but attracts. And the wildest part? Once she tastes that energy, it sticks in her mind forever. It haunts her. It whispers, "You might not find another man like him." So if you want to leave a deep mark on her heart, don't give her all your time. Give your purpose all your focus. She'll either join you on your mission, or she'll watch you rise from a distance. Either way, you win. The silent power that makes her heart race. Okay, listen closely. This might be the most powerful thing you ever learn about women. It's not what you say. It's not what you wear. It's not even how rich or good looking you are. It's the energy you carry. That calm, grounded, unshakable energy. It screams power without you saying a single word. Imagine this. You walk into a room. You're not loud. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're just still, confident, at peace. And suddenly, she looks at you. She can feel something different, something rare. That's called emotional mastery. It's when a man controls his inner world, no matter what happens around him. A man who doesn't panic when she pulls away, doesn't chase when she goes quiet, doesn't explode when things don't go his way. He just breathes, stays steady, and moves forward with purpose. That's the man she remembers. Why? Because most guys get thrown off so easily. One mixed signal from a woman, and boom, they crumble. They beg. They overthink. They try to fix it. But you hold the line. You let her feel your strength. Not with shouting, but with silence. That's what haunts her. That's what keeps her up at night thinking, why doesn't he react? Why doesn't he chase me? Why does his stillness feel so powerful? Because it is. See, women test, not because they're evil, but because they want to feel safe. And they feel safest with the man who cannot be shaken. So every time you stay calm, every time you breathe through the storm, every time you stay focused on your path, you leave a fingerprint on her mind, and it never fades. She'll compare every man after you to you, and they'll all fall short. Because while they react, you remain still. While they chase, you stay centered. And while they crumble, you rise. That's alpha energy. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's silent, steady, and unforgettable. The weird power of distance that makes her chase you like crazy? Okay, this might sound strange at first. But did you know that getting closer is not always the answer? Sometimes, the secret is distance. Yup, you heard that right. Let me explain. Most guys think if I show her how much I care, if I stay close, if I keep texting her, she'll want me more. But guess what? That's not how the female mind works. See, closeness all the time makes her feel safe, but not excited. It makes her feel comfortable, but not curious. And here's the truth most men never hear. Women chase what they don't fully have. That mystery, that space, that tiny bit of distance, it drives them wild inside. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how she acts way more into you after you've been quiet for a while? Or how she texts first when you've been focused on your own life? That's not an accident. That's psychological distance doing the work for you. It's like this invisible pull, this energy that whispers, I'm not waiting for you, but I'm not gone either. It makes her wonder what you're thinking. It makes her want your attention again. And it makes her feel something. Something she doesn't feel when you're always there, always chasing, always trying. Now listen closely. This is important. Distance is not about punishing her. It's not about playing games or being cold. It's about having a life that's so full, so focused, so purpose-driven that you don't have time to cling. You're not ignoring her. You're just choosing yourself first. And that energy of self-priority, it lights a fire in her heart. Because women are drawn to men who have somewhere to go, not men who sit still waiting. So if she feels you drifting slightly, not out of anger but out of purpose, she starts to lean in. She starts to wonder, where is he? What's he doing? Why do I miss him so much right now? And boom, she's chasing. Not because you begged, not because you changed yourself, but because you simply created space and kept walking toward your mission. Distance, done right, is power. It's not pushing her away. It's showing her that you're already whole, and she has to earn her place in your world. Why being hard to reach makes her heart go crazy, she won't even know why. This is gonna shock you. But sometimes, the less she hears from you, the more she thinks about you. Weird, right? Let me tell you why this works. You know how some people are always around, always texting, always calling? It feels kinda boring after a while, doesn't it? You know they're always there. No mystery, no surprise, no excitement. But now, think about someone you can't quite figure out. Someone who's hard to reach, who's busy, who pops up sometimes but then disappears again. What happens? Your brain starts working like crazy. You wonder, where are they? What are they doing? Why haven't they messaged me back? And before you know it, you're thinking about them all the time. Guess what? That's exactly what happens to her. When you live your life like a man on a mission, when you're focused, unavailable, unreachable sometimes, you don't even have to say much. Your silence does the talking. It makes her heart race. It builds tension. It creates this big, open space in her mind where you live now. And she doesn't even know how it happened. See, when you're always available, she gets used to you. You become like background noise. But when you're rare, when she can't predict you, you become the main character in her mind. That's the secret. Don't give her everything. Don't always respond in 2 seconds. Don't always be around. Be kind, be honest, be calm, but also be hard to reach. Let her feel your absence. Let her wonder where your attention is. Because the truth is, when you give a woman space to miss you, she does. And that missing feeling, that's the start of chasing. Not because you played a trick, not because you faked anything, but because you've become a mystery, a challenge, something she needs to figure out. And when she can't figure you out, she keeps coming back, over and over and over again, not for answers, but for the feeling you give her. And that feeling, it's something no other guy is giving her. That's the power of being hard to reach. Not cold, not cruel, just unavailable sometimes. Because your life matters too much to sit around waiting. How to leave a mark on her soul without saying a word. Here's the truth. You don't need to be the best-looking guy. You don't need a fancy car, big muscles, or millions of followers. You just need to leave something behind. Not a gift, not a message, but a feeling. A deep feeling that stays in her chest long after you're gone. A feeling that haunts her in the best way. A feeling that whispers to her at night. Where is he now? Why do I still feel him? Even when he's not here. That, my friend, is what we call a psychological imprint. And guess what? It doesn't come from words. It doesn't come from chasing. It doesn't come from trying to impress her. It comes from how you live. It comes from the way you carry yourself. It comes from your calm power, your quiet strength, your unshakable purpose. When she sees that you don't need her, when she watches you walk away, not to play games, but because you've got a life to build. That moment, it burns into her memory, because most men beg to stay. But you left with peace in your eyes. You didn't cry. You didn't chase. You didn't beg. You walked away like a man who knows his worth. And that's when she starts to remember your voice, your scent, your silence, your energy. That's the imprint. It's not what you say. It's what she felt when you were around, and what she misses now that you're gone. This is how legends are made. Not through noise, but through presence. Strong, quiet, rare. You become the man who can't be replaced, because the space you filled, no one else knows how to hold it like you did. So if you want her to chase you, if you want her to lie awake at night remembering your touch, your stillness, your stare, then don't give her more. Give her less, but make it real. Speak less. Mean more. Disappear sometimes. But when you show up, make sure your presence is unforgettable. Live with purpose. Lead with calm. And walk like a man who never loses himself, even when she's beautiful, smart, and sweet. That's the final key, brother. Don't try to haunt her with tricks. Haunt her with truth. That's what sticks forever.